Hey everybody, it's Ben, your favorite Lexington, Kentucky realtor, back at it with another video. Today, we're going to be talking about Lexington, Kentucky all over again. But today, I'm going to be telling you the pros and the cons of living here in Lexington, Kentucky. Let's get after it. So let's start with the pros. There's a laundry list of pros, guys, of why you should come live in Lexington, Kentucky. One of them that I think is unique to Lexington, the way I'd like to describe the area for those who are moving in from out of state or don't know the area, it's a big city in a small space. So when you look on the map of Kentucky itself, um, you're not looking at a very large area. If you're comparing us to Louisville, Louisville kind of encompasses the surrounding counties, and it just makes it seem much bigger than necessarily what it is. So Lexington, yes, it's got all the big stuff of a big city, but it's in a very confined space, which I think is a pro because you're not far. You're 15 minutes from everything. That's kind of how I describe that little area. So if you're driving from one end to the other, you're a 15-20 minute drive easily, especially if you're taking New Circle Road to get around. I think every city that you go to has its own unique history and culture, and Lexington is nothing different from that. It has its own special history, and we're going to talk a lot about that when it comes to doing my Things to Do series. With Eckert's Orchard, Thursday Night Live, you know, the Bourbon Trails, college basketball, college football. We've got a lot that's going on here in the area that, again, makes our culture and history very unique. And I can't wait to show you more about that down the road, but that's definitely a pro for us. Another pro to this area is it's growing. It is getting bigger. If you have lived in Lexington longer than a year, you know it's growing. There's new housing developments going northwest, going south, going east. The city is expanding. The area itself is expanding, which is very, very cool. And I like that. And we've got a pro soccer team on its way here. The Louisville FC is doing phenomenal up there, and they're noticing there's a lot of Lexington fan base coming up there. So they're working on bringing a pro team here, and they're expanding the downtown. Downtown is going to be revamped in the next few years. And I'll definitely show you some links, show you some photos, send you some informational articles where you can see where they're about to do a major remodel and basically to try to elevate the status of Lexington, Kentucky. And it's going to be very incredible to be here in the next few years as it transitions. The housing market, I know, is just going to react positively to all the stuff that they're doing right now. Pro that I think I've kind of touched on is there is so much to do here. We are more than just bourbon, basketball, and horses. Are they a big part of our culture and our livelihood? Absolutely. Keeneland during the fall and during the spring is a must go to attendance. You have to go experience it. You have to go be a part of it. There's just a really cool atmosphere about it. Go to the bourbon tours, and yes, the free tastings are cool, but you get to learn a lot about the history of this area and what makes bourbon just so internationally well known, and that's what's really cool. I grew up in Kentucky, and once I started going on the bourbon tours, I gained a lot more respect for the bourbon industry and just how far of a reach it has outside our state, which is very, very cool. And again, just more of an appreciation. But we've got a mall that's getting bigger, Saddlebrook, which is another mall that's right across the street. Again, just kind of expanding that entertainment. We have tons of concerts that come to Rupp Arena all the time. Thursday Night Live. Check out my video if you haven't seen it yet. It's there's things that happen. There's things that are going on, and I love that about this area. There's more than just bourbon, basketball, and horses. We've got that for sure. Definitely need to go and enjoy that, but we've got so much more going for us, and it's a huge plus to move here and be a part of it. The last pro that I'm going to touch on that I think is really, really cool about Lexington is I consider us a centralized location. What does that mean? We're an hour drive from Louisville. We're an hour drive from Cincinnati. We're 3 hours from Columbus, 3.5 hours from Nashville, and we're 4 hours from Gatlinburg. The country heaven is another way to describe that. But we're a short drive to a lot of other big cities. If you're looking to go do a day trip to Louisville, day trip to Cincinnati, maybe a long day trip to Nashville, it's not out of the question whatsoever. And I think that's really, really cool. We're right in the middle of a lot of unique and different things. I know Richmond, Virginia is about a 9 hour drive. So if you're looking to go like Baltimore and stuff, you're definitely in that drive. I've done the drive to Disney World. It's 12 hours straight. So I mean, it's a drive. It's not centralized whatsoever. But I will say Lexington in its spot is very cool. So you're centralized to a lot of other really well known major cities. That's not a far drive away. Okay, before we move on, I want to make sure to remind you all, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That helps get this video out there for those who are researching Lexington, Kentucky, or thinking about moving to Lexington, Kentucky. Just gives them, again, another informational video that they can subscribe to and learn more about the area. If you live here already and think I've missed something important, pro-wise, con-wise, leave it in the comments below. So those, again, who are researching the area and looking to move know a little bit more about Lexington, Kentucky. So I promised you I was going to talk about the pros. I definitely got to tell you about the cons. Yes, there are cons. You ask any Lexington native here, they will tell you there's plenty of stuff that irks us about being here. But you go anywhere, you're going to find something that's going to irk you. And these are probably the big ones that get after people the most. The weather during the months of January and March is awful. I mean, and what I mean by awful, it never gets below single digits. I mean, if you ever get into single digits, you're going to hit that like one time, and then you're never going to see it again. You won't see it for weeks, and that's it. We don't get a lot of snowfall in the winter because it doesn't stay cold enough for it to stay snow. So that's where it gets kind of nasty, especially during like March. March is when winter is just like holding on for dear life, and spring is trying to come through. Second week of March, do not be shocked if Monday it's 75 and sunny, and Thursday it's 32 and snowing. That is a typical week in the second week of March. By the fourth week of March, you're pretty much in spring. You're walking further and further away from winter. But February is definitely probably our worst month. January, it's just cold. You get a little bit of sleet, snow, but it's, again, January, February, it's just not fun to be outside, and that's probably one of the nasty things about this area. Also, with the weather, guys, in the summer, it is nice, but man, that humidity will get you, especially if it's 95 plus. The humidity, it's just like being walking in an oven, guys. And if you're not used to it, you don't really like it. That's probably one of the nastier things about the summertime, especially for us in July, first 2 weeks of August. It is hot. It gets hot and it gets muggy, it gets nasty. So just kind of know that if you're a jogger, you need to do it earlier in the morning or late in the evening, and you'll be okay. We do get tornadoes. We don't see them so much here in the central Kentucky area that we do in the western Kentucky. Western Kentucky is a little bit more flatter. We got a lot more rolling hills here in the central Kentucky, but you will see them pop up every once in a while. I remember there was a tornado at Commonwealth Stadium or University of Kentucky. So they do happen, they do pop up, but it's just nature, and we're usually pretty good about knowing when they're coming and being ready for them. Another con, seasonal allergies are epic here. That's the way I like to describe them. Some people, it'll just hit you super, super hard. Just be ready for it. Get your medicine. Go to Walgreens, go to CVS, go where you need to go to get yourself set up, because they will hit you hard. Once it passes, it passes. But seasonal allergies are a pretty big thing here when you live here more than a couple weeks. So, okay, probably my biggest con about living in Lexington is traffic from 7 to 8 a.m. and then 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. You just don't want to drive anywhere. We have 4 main roads called the Four Horsemen of Lexington: Winchester Road, Richmond Road, Tates Creek Road, and Nicholasville Road. You just don't want to get on them. Even New Circle. New Circle on the south side, is like a little mini highway, but even then that'll get congested in the 5 to 6 p.m. time frame. But like after 6, guys, it's okay. Like you're good to go. You're not fighting everybody trying to get home. You're not fighting, people going to athletic events after school. I'm telling you, just if you can wait 45 minutes, just don't drive. Just wait. Now, once you live here long enough, you might be able to figure out the back roads. There are really tons of back roads that connect roads, like Richmond Road and Tates Creek Road and Nicholasville Road, and Nicholasville Road all the way up and on. So If you learn them, you can get around a lot of it, but you're still, it's just going to take you a little bit. So if you can wait, I'd wait. But it's nothing going to be like New York and LA. I know that. I've driven through those areas, and those traffic jams are phenomenally horrible. But um, we don't deal with traffic so much. So when we do get traffic, it's annoying for us. So just know that. Be ready for it. If you can get around it, you'll be fine. But that's my biggest con when it comes to living in the Lexington, Kentucky area. So when it comes to real estate and housing, there is a con. There is no new construction really inside of New Circle. So again, looking at a map, you got a New Circle that encompasses all of Lexington, and there's a bill that kind of keeps from new constructions being developed inside the circle, and that gets annoying. So finding affordable housing inside the circle can get tough. Um, Everything is outside the circle, and there are new developments, new constructions happening all around New Circle, um, but there's not enough inventory for there to be kind of a price competitive advantage for the buyer. So just kind of know that and understand that. But I touched on this before. If you go look at Winchester, Versailles, Georgetown, Richmond, don't mind driving in, you're going to find yourself a lot more options when it comes to affordable housing, and that will benefit you more and further along financially. Well, that completes this video, guys. I hope it was informational for you, especially if you're trying to research moving into the Lexington, Kentucky area. There's a lot more tips and tricks that we can give you, and ideas of what you need to do to make your move safe, easy, and affordable. So if you're ever in the market, guys, or if you ever know someone that's in the market, share them this video, share them our information. Love to get in touch with them. We'll set up a free buyer's consultation, and we'll give you all the information that you need to know when moving to this area. Guys, I've helped people from California, Canada. It doesn't matter. If you're moving to Kentucky, we know what you need to do and the best ways that we can help you. So I appreciate you watching. As always, leave a comment below. Like I said, if there's a pro or a con that I've missed before, let people know what's going on. And again, if you ever need any help, please reach out. Guys, you have a great day.